Peace and love, everyone. This is Butterscub with the Go Heart Nation podcast coming to you on this lovely Juneteenth holiday. I hope everyone is enjoying their day off. I hope everyone yesterday caught up and talked to their fathers on Father's Day, because that's the topic of the day. We're going to talk about Father's Day and what it means, and we're going to break it down to the last fraction on what it is to be a father and the influences that definitively define the black man and the black fatherhood, from all kinds of influences, man, from movies to family members to music, and a whole lot of different, even art. And I'm going to break it down to you, man, so we can understand some things, man. You can understand me. You can understand the fathers of the day and how they made us out to be. This is something that I don't think anybody ever done before, man. This is something that I think is needed, because there's a lot of different aspects of being a black man. There's a lot of aspects of being a father. I'm not a father because I don't have any kids, but it's not about me today. It's about how fathers are being seen. But I'm going to use me and my father and my grandfather and the influence that we've been through to break it down. And I hope you have a little time to sit with me for a little while, man. So I'm going to get right to it. Where should I start? If I could start from the sperm going up the fallopian tube, I would, but I don't remember that. If I could start from me being in diapers and playing as a baby, I would start there, but I don't remember that either. So I'm going to start from my influences and what I can remember. All right. Growing up, I was, like I said, we already talked about it, man. I was, certain kind of kid, man, that we all had, I wasn't in the hood, but then again, I wasn't, totally suburban or anything. So I'm going to start with Big Lee. That was my father. We used to call him Big Lee. I'm Little Lee back then, so they called him Big Lee. And he was adopted by Big Scott. That's my grandfather. So both of them being military men, they had a certain amount of gravity when it came to what they said and what they meant when they talked. So a lot of people listened. A lot of people, when they would talk to my grandfather, they used to call him Chief, and Big Lee was Big Lee. Growing up, when I listened to them, they had a lot of musical influence. My grandfather, man, for some reason, he was one of the few black men I knew that liked country and western music. So he would listen to a lot of country and western music, watch a lot of westerns, and it made him a certain kind of person, man, that nowadays they would call a conservative. Back then, they really never called black men conservatives because, they weren't into the Malcolm X, Martin Luther King thing. They were more of a family people, and they were trying to make sure that they get that their kids ate and went to school. So he wasn't really on that rights movement or anything like that, the civil rights movement. He's more of a conservative guy who believed in decent pay for a decent day of work, which was cool, man. People don't understand how large of a group that was back in the days with black men. A lot of black men weren't on that, marching and being Martin Luther King. In fact, they was around our way that there was a problem with Martin Luther King. A lot of black folks didn't agree with Martin Luther King, and they especially didn't agree with Malcolm X. They was more on the conservative type, like stay low and keep your head low and stay working, you know. But then came Big Lee, rocking the fro, talking black power, man. He wanted to be he believed in the Panthers. He listened to Huey Newton, and he was Malcolm X. I mean, he turned me on to Malcolm X, and he turned me on to, some of Martin Luther King's teachings, and he believed in the whole government against us, enigma, or what would it call, COINTELPRO in our business and whatnot. So he was him and Big Scott clashed. So at that time, I guess my grandfather's influence was a little more than Big Lee's, so he went into the military, and he went to the Vietnam War, and he was in that where it changed this man. He went from a person that was caring and soft and was into being to a hardened, more stern man who was disillusioned with people and the government and stuff like that. So when he came home, he was different. That's what they said. Said he was he was changed. He was more aloof. He was more he went from that happy-go-lucky, loving black people, loving America, to this tough, ornery cat. So when he came home, one of his influences was, he was disillusioned with black people. He thought that we were changed, that we was being used by the government and everything like that. So when I listened to him, I didn't agree. I was more of the I'm trying to soak up things. I'm trying to find out, man, what is black people all about? What am I all about? So I started watching, of course, as a kid, we watched TV and cartoons and whatnot. But I started paying attention to shows like All in the Family with Archie Bunker, and he was a staunch racist in the show. But however, he really wasn't a racist in real life. He was trying to become an icon where black folks could look up to watching his shows. So he had spinoffs. One of the spinoffs was the Jeffersons, and how he dealt with black and white relationships and everything like that. And from Good Time show came the Jeffersons. Another spinoff from what he was used to do was a show called Maude. Now, I know I'm dating myself because I'm a little older than a lot of people, but this is the beginning of black relations, because they're showing black men and fathers in a certain light where they was telling us how they wanted us to act. So once you saw the Jeffersons, of course, everybody know about the Jeffersons and the moving on up and everything like that. But the show Maude came out, and Maude was a antagonist to your boy All in the Family. So she got her own show, which came out of the feminist movement, and people starting the female movement was moving on. But in the Maude show, the reason they was pushing that on our black people, and that you could tell, because they were trying to influence us in a certain way. And the way they got us to watch these shows was by the music. See, in the Jeffersons, with the moving on up, everybody knew that was your girl from Good Times, the Valona. They got us to watch Maude because at the time, the highest, I mean, the greatest singer to this day to me and back in the days was Donny Hathaway. So if you understood that the Donny Hathaway sung the Maud intro, for it to come on. So that got black folks to watching Maud. And when Maud came on, it brought on the start of Good Times. So, like you say, Florida was there, was her maid, and it spun off from there where she was going to Chicago to Caprini Green and whatnot. So it was all this was an influence on black folks back in the day. So when we start watching these shows, we start seeing how black men acted and what they wanted us to do. Sometimes they wanted us to be buffoons. Sometimes they wanted us to be these hardcore fathers and stuff like that. So we would watch these things, and my father reminded me of James Evans in Good Times. And of course, when I started watching this stuff, I was drawn to the art, which you can see in my picture to the side here. That hold on, over here, yeah, over here saying that it has an Ernie Barnes who did the Good Times paintings, that a lot of people know and see right now, and that was a big influence on my art. So once this stuff started coming out, and I'm gonna get to the father part, just stay with me for a little bit. We would listen to these shows and we would watch these shows, man, and we would, and James was tough, man, so that was finally something that we saw, but it was something else that influenced us, and it was the music of the 70s and stuff like that. And like I said, man, you had Donny Hathaway, you had the Stylistics, man, you had Earth, Wind and Fire. They was a little early in the 80s, but these groups, defined the way we talk and acted towards our women. So once we started listening to these, it came a little stereotype. You was either James Evans Jr. and you was cussing everybody out or talking shit to everybody, or you was like the Stylistics, man, or you was like the some of these certain older R&B music groups, like the like you said, the Isley Brothers, Stylists, man. He was that cool old man that was trying to holler at everybody, man. But when you fashion your life on trying to holler at everybody and being all cool and smooth, man, it can come off as kind of simpish now, man. Once you look at, that kind of man who, what up, daddy? Saying, let me talk to you, young lady, and all that stuff, man. And you come off as this, watch out that daddy and everything, and you trying to holler at every woman. You come off as simpish and not on your game now. Well, back in the days, it was cool because it was a way to pull women. But we know now that pulling women ain't the end all, the be all to handle the things that the black man need to handle in his relationships and in his and the stuff he do for the community. So it will come off as kind of corny and whack, and you like, man, carry your ass with that old ass shit. All you trying to do is holler at these young girls, and you trying to get some love when you need to be out here getting some paper. That's neither here nor there, but it's a big influence on what we doing. So fathers, these black fathers, man, they came off as simps sometimes. They came off as pimp players. They came off as mean James Evans Jr. types, you know what I'm saying? Like my pops was. And my grandfather, like you said, they was stern and they was all about getting that paper. Now, I'm not here to disparage the black father, because I'm going somewhere. Because the real story is right now is the times of the day and how fathers are looked at now, and we're being dismissed because in these pivotal times in our life, we simped out, we pimped out, we was out here being players and hard asses when we should have been making money and taking care of our community. But that's neither here nor there. I'm not going to go back in the time on that. Now we're going to come up to today's times and what's up with the fathers now. After going through them 70s and 80s when everybody was thinking that we was these simps and players and trying to holler at every woman instead of, taking care of our families and stuff, we became, our black women and our black children started judging the black man and the black father. And once they started judging them, they started looking out, and it was like, man, what came out at the end, man, is that black women and black children judge their black fathers, through what they do and what they didn't do. And if you are constantly holding somebody accountable for the stuff they didn't do, it diminishes the stuff that they did do. So we're going to talk about my father and how he, to this day, man, for my sister and myself, we judge this man on a lot on what he did, but we also judge a lot of things on what he didn't do. And that's hard these days, man. That's a tough call to judge a man on the stuff he did and didn't do. I know a lot of you guys out there that's fathers, and I know a lot of guys that's fathers. I know that you're being judged on the stuff that you do, but you're also being judged on the stuff that you don't do. And that's nothing that you can really call. It's only on what people can tell you. That's why if a father gets up here and like, man, I'm talking and talk about what he did, that's disingenuous and that's wrong, because it ain't up to you. All you can do is live your life. Other people gonna have to judge you on how they thought you was as a father or how you was as a provider. Mothers don't have to go through this, because you can give her flowers right now. Yours comes when you pass. Yours comes when you're old and you did all you can and you can't do anymore, and they got to take care of you and how they feel about you. So that's the difference between a man, a father, and a mother. Fathers, like you say, your judgment comes when you're gone or when you're in that old age home and somebody has to take care of you, and when people come around and figure out why they should help you. And that's because, you gotta leave that legacy. But the thing of it is, mothers don't have to leave that legacy, because they provide and protect for you right then when you're a kid until, they pass, and you give them their flowers halfway through what they're doing. So, the father's a different dynamic. It's a different way of thinking of things. And it's the Go Hard Nation, man. I want you to like, share, and subscribe, man. I hope you enjoying your, like I said, I hope you're enjoying your Juneteenth. We're going to get into that one day too, man. But this is a Father's Day thing right now, man. So like, share, and subscribe. We're going to keep it going. I might be a little long-winded this time, man, because I got a lot that I need to cover when we get to these black fathers. It's a lot of stuff, man, that they don't understand about us, man. There's a lot of stuff that, there's a lot of things that come into play when you talk about fathers, because it's that legacy thing. It's that that rearing of child, that discipline thing that black men or women have a problem with sometime, man. So they're going to rebel against stuff like that. But for you not to understand this thing, you're gonna be confused. So I'm gonna try to make it a little bit, make it a little bit clear, make you understand why we are who we are, and why my father was my father to me, because he had a lot of issues, man. He wasn't perfect, but none of us are. I know I'm not perfect. I know I'm not the guy that can tell you how to be a father, because I'm not a father. I can just tell you how my father was to me and how I related to him. See, the thing I can say about Big Lee is, for him being my real father, I got my looks from him. I know that if there was nobody else on my side, Big Lee was going to be there for me. No matter what the issue was, no matter how much time we didn't spend together, if anybody was on my side, I knew Big Lee was on my side. I know that my sister and I were his greatest accomplishment. That's what he used to tell me. He was like, man, he would do anything for us, and I believe that. Now, you can say there's people out here that have stepfathers and that they, and a lot of these women will leave the fathers of their children to be with a stepfather, but there's no way anybody can be a stepfather like Big Lee was my father. I know that he would do anything to anybody who did anything to me or my sister. And to know that would give a man the most confident and comforting of this life that you can get. Me and my sister went one time, and we was out crabbing one time, and my sister went out a little too far out, and the water was taking her away. The riptide was pulling her out in the ocean. I never seen a man's face of fear and determination when he ran out there to grab my sister. There's no way in hell that even that rip current could hold him back from going to get my sister. That showed me right there, man, the determination of a man and his real kids and what they would do for him. I mean, of course, there's stepfathers out here that'll go the extra mile, but will they give up their life like my father was going to do to protect my sister from that rip current? I'm not saying you will, I'm not saying you won't, but when I saw Big Lee, he would have gave his life for me or my sister so that we would be safe and we would be right. I saw him when I got in a little issue with the, with the legal system, and I got, and I was in prison and stuff like that. I saw a man that when he came to visit was physically shaken and hurt to see me back there. Not no, damn, you did it to yourself, man. You should have been smarter, and I ain't bailing you out. He was looking at me like, man, if we could trade places, he would be in jail, and I'll be outside. No matter what I did, man, he didn't care. Of course, I ain't kill no woman or no kids or anything like that, but he didn't care what the fuck they wanted about me. He wanted me out. And it won't no, you did it to yourself and you got to pay the price. No, he wanted me out. That's a father. That's a man that he don't give a damn about no law. He don't give a damn about no prison. If he could have bent them bars and pulled me out of there, he would have did it. Not because he think I'm right or wrong. He's like, that's my son and I don't want him back there. Do these fathers come off like that? Do you come off like, I don't give a damn what the motherfuckers say out here about this world? Ain't nobody doing nothing to my kids. I don't care if you white, black, whatever. I don't care if you the government, the police, anybody. I'm 100% behind my kids. That's what he did for me and my sister. He didn't care nothing about, man. He didn't care nothing about what anybody thought. He was on our side, and he wanted us free, and he wanted us happy. And that's what a father's all about. Not just because you put some food on the table, not because you gave me some money so I can go get some clothes or some jewelry or, go to school or whatnot. He actually cared what happened to me, man. And it's a different care that your mother would give you, because I really didn't get that kind of care, but I knew what this care was. I knew that this man would go to the ends of the earth for me. Even if he didn't have it. That's what a father is. That's a dad. That ain't that That baby daddy shit y'all on. That's a father. That's a dad. He gets utmost respect from me. And that's what you should be getting from your kids. And if you're not getting that from your kids, then it might be on you. But if it's not on you, then it's on them. And if they not acting like that, man, you make them act like that. Let me tell you what Big Lee didn't do. Big Lee didn't let me turn against them. Big Lee didn't let me know that I'm here for you every day. We would argue, man. He's a grown man. I'm a grown man. So I'm gonna say stuff that I want to say. He was gonna say stuff he was gonna say. But I knew that I won't get rid of this man. I could cuss him out or he could cuss me out, but he'd be back. And you still my son. I don't care what happened. I don't care what happened. And to the very day he passed, I knew that for a fact that he's my pops. What he didn't do, he didn't leave my sister and me out. He made sure that we were homeowners before he passed. You know, he loved real estate. He loved moving. I mean, that's one thing about Big Lee, man. He wouldn't stay in one spot more than a year or two. But he knew that for me to have a legacy, he left me and my sister homes so that we could be homeowners and we would understand that and we would have a little legacy for ourselves. So that's what he didn't do. He didn't let us goddamn go without. Now, he didn't have it all the time, man. And like you said, we went through some tough times. Going to school smell like kerosene and no lights and eating a lot of food that you wouldn't feed a dog sometimes. But we made it through. It won't, made us tougher. We ain't sitting around here begging for shit. We around here, we understand, man. If we ain't got it, we just ain't gonna have it. And we got to get it from the mud. But that's what a father is, man. A father is a cat that, man, I could cuss Big Lee out, man, and he'd be back the next day. Like, what's up? What you need? And if he had it, he'd do it. If he didn't have it, he wouldn't. He'll tell me, I ain't got it, but I'll figure out something. And and if he didn't have it, he'll call you every day like, man, I'm working on it. That's what a father is, man. That's what a real father is. Not these baby daddy, you round because the mama, you still having sex with the mama, or you think that the mama is going to put you on child support and stuff like that. Big Lee never even talked about child support. That wasn't even an issue in our family because I was going to be with him. My sister was going to be with him. Won't no mother taking us away. Won't nobody taking us away. I knew it. There was other people that claimed they would have took us, but they won't. They won't going to take us. Big Lee was going to take us. And that's who we were with. Now, he wasn't the greatest. He had his issues. He drank a lot and he talked a lot of trash and everything. But at the end of the day, I knew he was there. Back in the days, Big Lee, he set up our family when he had a stepmother, it looked more like the Cosby Show. Her siblings, our siblings, we was all together, man. And, we lived pretty good for a little while. And then they broke up. But by the time they was breaking up, I went away to college. And let me tell you, one of the scariest things, it was like The Walking Dead. If you leave a home and then you come home and that home ain't there no more. And the stepmother looking at you like, don't come around here. Your pops ain't here no more. And damn, I'm like, damn, man. I went away to college, and when I came back, everything is gone. Everything changed. And I had to look, but I found out, Big Lee was in Greenbrier. So we had left the home that we had in Chesapeake, the other part of Chesapeake, and Big Lee was living in Greenbrier, man. It was a whole different thing, man. And I know he saw it in my face. He was like, man, what happened to the Huxtable Cosby Show life that we was living? Now we in townhouses and apartments, man, and you work all night and I don't ever see you, and my sister is in school, but she's gone half the time, and I'm like, damn, man, this is crazy. But He told me, he said, man, don't worry about none of that. I'm here. If you need anything, man, you let me know, man. If you need somewhere to stay, you stay with me. And while I did, I stayed with him for a little while, and then I was out on my own. But that's what a father does for you. He don't got to be burping your ass. He ain't got to be, teach you ABCs 1 through 3. That's up for you to learn. He's there to protect you. He's there to have a home for you, man, when you fall through the cracks as a grown man or a woman. He's there to help you figure out things, man. He can't figure it all out for you, but he's helping you figure it out for yourself. That's what a father is. Don't let your mothers or anyone else tell you what a father should be. I'm telling you what a father should be. Father should be there to guide you, to help you through things. He can't figure it out for you all the time. Sometimes you're going to have to help you figure it out. But he ain't going to be able to figure it out for you all the time. And when your mama thinks she's figuring it out for you, she puts you deep in the hole. Because she's thinking go get a loan, go do this, stay with this, you know what I'm saying? I'll get you a job with a white man. When your pop's like, you could do it yourself. That's what makes me an entrepreneur, because my father was on some entrepreneur stuff. He wasn't on keeping no job. That man couldn't keep a job for over 6 years for his whole life, man. He had good sense. He was an aircraft mechanic, bus driver, but he always wanted something different. He always wanted his own. That's what made him kind of on some slick stuff all the time. But I know right now, yeah, he's gonna be slick, but he was there to help me, And that's what you're supposed to be for your kids, man. You ain't supposed to be out here figuring everything out for them. You're supposed to be letting them figure out things. And whatever they need, they can come to you for guidance, help. If you can't do that, you ain't no damn father. You some old punk ass nigga that your mama was screwing. So I know that's harsh. I know that sounds difficult on this Father's Day. But we got some difficult problems in our community, especially with the black men. That's why you're getting disrespected, man. You're too busy trying to holler at their mama. You're too busy trying to goddamn, placate to your female kids. You know what I'm saying? You're teaching your sons to kiss the ass of anybody who want to give him some sex. When really he needs to be looking at this chick and helping you figure out what kind of lady this is. Is she trying to help you, or is she trying to use you? You don't want to be no simp. You don't want to be no sucker in no girl's eyes, because that stuff is short term. Long term, you're going to be that old ass man sitting in a retirement home with nobody checking with your ass, and some chick spending your paper instead of looking out for you. Hell, if he's going to do like that, you might as well spend it your goddamn self. So, it's a tough one. It's something I had to work out, man, and I don't have a lot of notes on it, man. I'm just I'm going off my head. But this is a situation, man, that we need to check on, man, that we need to figure out. We sit back, man, and I'm going to tell you, the biggest influences in my life was, like you say, 90s rap music, R&B music, Stylists, Isley Brothers, Irvin, stuff like that, man. Good Times, Jefferson, stuff like, TV, Big Scott. But one of my biggest is Big Lee, my pops. I learned that, man, I might not know everything, man, but at least try to know something. At least try to know things so that you can help others. You may not be able to figure it out for them, but you can help and guide in a certain way. You know what I'm saying? And when, like you say, listen to Big Lee, man, and I would watch the Good Times, and I would see the Ernie Barnes paintings, the Sugar Shack, and Big Lee would listen to Marvin Gaye, and that Ernie Barnes picture, the Sugar Shack was on Marvin Gaye's album. The music of Donny Hathaway, he would listen to, man. It was some deep music, man, and it was the real black man on the streets singing to you. I would implore anybody with a little, up there in age and even the young to go listen to some Donny Hathaway music, man. And you'll understand why he was such a big influence on our older family members and the stuff we did. You'll understand how TV tried to influence us through all the family, Jeffersons, the Good Times, the Cosby Show, on how to be a black father. But all that is just Hollywood trying to be Hollywood. They won't try to be like the streets. They were just trying to tell you how you should be. And then the shows after that was stupid and sucked. So I say that to say this about you, black man. You're always going to be judged by what you do, but you're definitely going to be judged by what you don't do. You're definitely going to be judged by you not spending time with the kids. They're definitely going to be judged by when they're in a tough situation. Were you there? Were you able to help? Were you on some bullshit because you don't get along with their mama anymore? These are things, man, that you're going to have to understand and you're going to have to deal with so that you could be the big Lee, the father, man, that wasn't perfect, but everybody can respect you. So I'm hoping that this can help us. I rambled on a little bit. Shout out to all the fathers out there, man, that's trying. They can be there for their family members and their kids. Shout out to the mothers that respect those fathers. They respect what those men do for them and their kids, even if they don't do for them what they do for those kids. And I hope we can work out our differences, man, so that our communities could be that much better. So I'm glad we had this talk. I wanted to get that out for you fathers. Happy Father's Day out there. And I hope that you listen to what I'm saying and that this could be something that can help you out in the future. All right, y'all. I'm out and peace.